Hello class, welcome back. This is Priya from Alpha International CBSE School, Baho. So today we are going to revise chapter 1, the best Christmas present in the world. So this is a chapter 1 which we have discussed last month. So today we are going to revise this lesson like summary, all the classwork content, grammar and the question pattern, because this is the lesson which you are going to attend in the first unit test. Okay children. So before starting that, let me revise the summary. Let me summarize the story, the best Christmas present in the world. And this lesson, this story was written by the author Michael Morpurgo. Children, we have already discussed this. The best Christmas present in the world is a touching story by Michael Morpurgo. And in this, he describes about the narrator, like how the narrator buys an old desk and finds in it a letter like written by English soldier Jim Macpherson to his wife Connie, and whom the narrator goes to meet, and how he hand over the letter and what are the things he had read in that letter. Everything we are going to discuss in this summarization. So here the story starts like this. The author, the narrator, the author went to the junk shop in Bridport. He noticed a roll top desk in that junk shop. Junk shop means it is a shop which the second hand things will be sold, right? It was a very old and made of work. The table, the top desk, the roll top desk was very old and made of work, and it was in very bad condition, so that he can buy it with for a less amount and then he can repair it. So in that mindset he went there to buy that. In that desk has all burn marks, and then since it was very cheap, the author decided to buy it. So whatever it may be, however it looks, and he started like he want to prepare it, working on it on Christmas Eve. He want to make it ready on Christmas Eve. So he went to the shop, he selected that roll top desk which is made of oak and brought it home. Now he removed the roll top desk and tried very hard to pull out the drawers in that. It was very hard. He cannot pull it out. He suffered very much, and the desk was really damaged due to fire and water. The drawers were stuck in. They were jammed. It was not able to. He was not able to open it even when he was using his force. Then he hit it hard with his face and pulled the drawer out. So in the drawer he found a secret drawer. Inside that drawer he found another small secret drawer, and in that drawer he found a small black tin box with a note pasted on it like Jim's last letter, which was received on 25th 1915. The letter the letter also was looking like a very old letter, and then this author is really very curious to open that letter and to read what is inside. He knew that it is a wrong, it was a wrong, but his curiosity wins him and he tries to open that envelope. In that it was written as, on the letter it was written as like Jim's last letter. So when he found an envelope with the address mentioned on the envelope was Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. And that letter was, the date which was mentioned on the letter was 26/19/14. When did the author found the letter? 25th 1915. It has been a year, nearly a year. So December 19, sorry children, December 26, 1914 it was dated, but the author found in the within a month or so, right children? Yes. The letter was by whom? Jim Macpherson. He wrote that letter to his wife Connie. Jim McPherson was a soldier set against the Germans during the First World War. Jim wrote this letter to his wife explaining how happy he was at the war field because something wonderful had happened there. The soldiers on both sides, like German and England, on how they spent their happiness on the no man's land, were taking up positions to their trenches. It was Christmas morning, like the author Jim McPherson, not the author, Jim McPherson clearly explained in the letter about how happy he was there on that Christmas Eve, and the letter starts like this. It was Christmas morning, cold and frosty. Jim saw a German soldiers waving a white flag. They were calling out the England soldiers to say Happy Christmas. It was a big surprise to them to be greeted by the enemies, right children? He knew that they were their enemies, but when they were waving white flag and about to come and meet them, they were also stunned. They were looking stunned. These English soldiers also wished them to return. The leader said that they wanted to celebrate the Christmas Eve along with them. These German and English people, both of them they wished to celebrate the Christmas Eve together. Jim was the officer in command. He allowed his men to join the Germans. Grey coats and khaki coats, everybody mingled and started partying themselves. They shared their food, drinks, and also they shared their views on books and their natives. Everything they were discussing. Both the teams were sitting in groups, enjoying, and they were discussing, and also they were sharing their views also. And the soldiers from the rival camps smoked, loafed, drank, and also feasted. They enjoyed, feasted in the sense they enjoyed very much. Now, while they were talking and enjoying, here Jim McPherson shared a cake, marzipan, to the German soldier. And he said that he liked it. This cake was actually from whom? Jim's wife, Connie McPherson. And they both shared their views on the famous books and the languages also. And soon after they had started playing, both teams planned to play a football match, and then they started playing football also. But these two leaders, Jim McPherson and Hans, did not play because as they were the leaders of the team, they both sat and they started discussing and they were enjoying and viewing the football match which the teams were playing, and they were encouraging them by clapping their hands and tapping their feet. So the game also finished, and the drinks, cakes, or non-veg dishes, whatever they had bought with them, they shared everything. Everything was finished. Once it was finished, and then these both armies, two teams, went again to their trenches, to their places back. But the thing what Jim felt here was, it was very nice to play. What they discussed also, the main theme of the story is, it is like the two teams playing a game and winning is the best thing, where no lives will be lost. No children will be orphans, no wives will be widows, only it matters a game. But in the war field, either any one team will be winning, the other team will be losing, and many of the people were dead. Most of the wives were widows, and most of the children were being orphans. So while they compared both the things, playing games and winning over those teams, and then a war between the two countries. So they too wish a happy ending. They were eager to meet their families, but they can't. That is the actual fact what they have to do. So after this reading, like all these things which Jim shared in the letter to the Connie, the author read everything. The author read everything, like how they had ended the Christmas. The author put the letter back into the envelope and drove to the Bridport. Why? Because he want to give that letter back to the to whom? To Connie Macpherson. He meant to hand over the letter to Connie, and Connie was now 101 years old. Her house had caught fire, but she was saved. She was in a conservatory. The author wished her, anyhow, the author found Connie in a hospital who was in an unstable mindset. He found her somehow. He wished her happy Christmas and gave the letter to her. She recognized the writing of her husband and felt very happy. But because of her age and those incidents like the fire accident, everything happened, she mistook the author as her husband Jim, who had come home. She was thinking that she was in home and her husband came to meet her. But the fact is, the author came there to hand over her letter. She mistook that. She kissed the author on the cheek and asked him to read the letter to her. She wanted to listen to the voice of her husband. She said that he himself was the best Christmas present to her. This is so sad, right, children? And here shows how much Connie loves her husband. So, because by seeing that much love, the author was unable to tell the truth that he was not her husband. He came there to just give the letter back to her. So he sat for some time with her and later he left that place. So this is the summary of the lesson. The Christmas present, the best Christmas present in the world, children. So let us look into the PDF factors. So here is the classwork content, children. Let us start with the synonyms. So children, open your classworks and be ready. While I am revising each and every word, you keep your fingers near each word and if possible you repeat after me. If not, try to underline the hard words, and also I am reading each and every word for you only to explain how a vocabulary can be pronounced, because you are higher children, right? 8th and ninth, you can read yourself, but I'm helping you to just how to pronounce a word and how to give pauses while reading. So be ready with your classwork, children. Those who are not having classwork, you can open this PPT presentation, and for every slide I will be giving you the audio, and in that audio you can come along with me. Okay, children? Yes. So Roman number 1 in this chapter 1 is synonyms. First one, spotted it. Answer is found it. Scotch marks, burn marks. Was going for, was selling for. Restore, repair, veneer, coating. Taken their toll on, damaged, stuck fast, shut tight. Scruples, feelings that make you hesitate to do something wrong. Standing to, taking up positive. Trenches, canals in the ground where soldiers hide from the enemy. Fritz, a name for a German soldier. Tommy, a name for a British soldier. Schnapps, a German drink made from grain. Cello, a musical instrument like a large violin. Marzipan, a sweet covering on a cake made from sugar, eggs and almonds. So I don't want to break these synonyms and give in the another slide, children, because let the synonyms be in one slide. So the continuation I have given in this small box. So let us continue this. 16th one is dugout, a shelter for soldiers made by digging pits. 17, boarded up, covered with wooden boards. 18, burned out, destroyed by fire. Muddle headed, confused, lit up, excited, suffused with, spread all over, tenderly, gently. So these are the 22 synonyms, children. So you have to read each and every synonym. You may get anything from that. Okay. Roman number 2 is antonyms. So antonyms means opposite words. So first one is tender. Tender means soft. Children, there is no rule to write the same answer. If you know a better answer, you can write your own answers also for antonyms, no problem. The first one is tender, hard or rough, sudden, gradual, vacant, occupied, terrible, delight, confuse, clarify, run out, start. Run out means it's not like running out, children. Run out means finished. Okay, start. Pressure, destroy, clumsy, graceful, sharp, blunt, surprise, unsurprise. So this is Roman number 3, frame sentences, children. Frame sentences means you have to frame your own sentences. You can just like think that why ma'am is always saying write your own answer, your own. CBSE is that in CBSE we must and should write our own answers. So that is what CBSE is. So but I gave the answers here because these are all simple examples. But in examination I must not see these answers there. I want you to write your own answers. So let me read the examples along with the questions now. Okay children. The first one is pressure. The first one is treasure. Treasure means I will treasure the gift given by mom. Like you can say that I will treasure my books. Okay, like that you can write anything. Second one is run out. Here run out means not running out, children. Run out means finished. He has run out of his energy means his energy is lost. His energy is over. Okay, orphaned. Orphaned means with no parents. I found an orphaned puppy. Favorite. English is my favorite subject. English is my favorite. If you have any other favorite subjects, you can write no problem. Fifth one is approach. Let's try another approach. If ma'am is not giving you any permission, you will try to approach her in another way, right? So that is the word meaning of approach. Sixth one, envelope. I received on an envelope regarding my results. Seventh one, underneath. Underneath means beneath. Under. Under means under. So the ball rolled underneath the table. Imagine. I can imagine the life in future. Like I can imagine my life in future. You also, many of you have more imaginations, right? So you can write your own answer. So this is the third Roman frame sentences. Fourth Roman starts here. Answer the following question answers. The first one is, what did the author find in a junk shop? The author found a roll top desk made of oak wood in the junk shop. It was badly out of shape and needed lots of repairs. Children, there is no need, as I said in the before itself, no need to write exact, don't mug up the answers. If you are thorough with the content, you can answer any questions or any grammar part also. So once you are thorough with the content, you can write your own answers, you can frame your own answers. Okay children. So this is just, we teachers are giving an example how to frame a sentence and write in an answer form. If you are well enough, you can write in your own way. Okay. So let us go to second question. What did he find in a secret drawer? Who do you think he put in there? The author found a letter written by a person named Jim. It was Jim's last letter to his wife, Mrs. McPherson. So there is a chance that Mrs. McPherson had put in there. Who had written the letter to whom and when? Jim McPherson had written the letter to his wife, Mrs. McPherson, on December 1914. It was written during the First World War. And fourth question. Why was the letter written? What was the wonderful thing that had happened? German and British army was fighting a battle. The soldiers were living in the trenches to fight enemy. For soldiers, writing and receiving letter was the only way to be in touch with their family members. The wonderful thing was, in spite of enmity, they celebrated Christmas together, which became a wonderful memory too. This shows that festivals are above all personal enmity. So here comes the continuation of the question answers. Fifth question is, what jobs did Hans Wolff and Jim McPherson had when they were not soldiers? Hans Wolff was a musician playing cello in an orchestra, and Jim McPherson was a school teacher during early 20th century. It was common for people to get enrolled into army during wars. Even today, certain countries like Israel make it mandatory for all adults to serve in military for a certain period. Sixth question. Had Hans Wolff ever been to Dorset? Why did he say he knew it? Hans Wolff had never been to Dorset. He was fond of reading books that he was familiar with Dorset. That is why he said that he knew Dorset. Do you think Jim McPherson came back from the war? How do you know this? The written statement on the letter saying that it was the last letter from Jim and that should be buried with Mrs. McPherson. This indicates that Jim didn't return from the war. Eighth one. Why did the author go to Bridport? The author wanted to ensure that the letter should reach the real owner and her last wish should be fulfilled. The address written on the envelope gave a hint to the author to try finding Mrs. McPherson in Bridport. How old was Mrs. McPherson now? Where was she? Mrs. McPherson was now over 100 years old. She was in a nursing home. And this is number 10 question. Who do Connie McPherson think her visitor was? Mrs. McPherson thought the author as Jim McPherson. Probably her old age, her poor health coupled with her sense of void after Jim's death created such hallucination for her. Which sentence in the text shows that the visitor did not try to hide his identity? Author's statement about how he found the desk and ultimately the letter shows that he did not try to hide his identity. And children, Roman number 5 comes here, working with the test. Working with the test, you have to write your own answers and not this. But we gave the answers because some children, if you are finding difficult to frame the answers, it would help you. So that's what we gave the answers, but you have to write the own answers, your own answers. First question. How long do you think Connie had kept Jim's letter? Give reasons for your answer. Connie must have kept Jim's letter till her last breath. This can be assumed on the basis of her reactions when she found the letter. Why do you think the desk has been sold and when? The desk must have been sold as junk. It may have been sold after the demise of Miss of McPherson. And this is the continuation of the working with text, children. So third question is, why do Jim and Hans think that games or sports are good ways of resolving conflicts? Do you agree? Jim and Hans think that games or sports are good ways of resolving conflicts because nobody dies in a game, no children become an orphan or a wife become a widow. This we have discussed in the lesson itself, right children? Yeah. Do you think that soldiers of the two armies are like each other or different from each other? Find evidence from the story to support your answer. Soldiers of the two armies are similar to each other. They celebrated the same festival in the same way. All of them love to sing carols and to dance. They love to eat and drink to enjoy the life. They love to share their food with each other. And fifth question, mention the various ways in which the British and the German soldiers become friends and find things in common at Christmas. The British and German soldiers smiled at each other and wished Merry Christmas to each other. They shared drinks and laughed at jokes. They played and enjoyed football. Thus, they became friends on that occasion. So children, this is the last two questions in chapter 1, the best Christmas present in the world. The sixth question is, what is Connie's Christmas present? Why is it the best Christmas present in the world? The letter from Jim was a Christmas present for Connie. It was from her beloved husband who was no more in the world. She received the letter after a gap of so many years, that too from an unknown person. The warmth in that letter made it the best Christmas present in the world. And seventh question, do you think the title of the story is suitable for it? Can you think of any other title? Answer is, in my opinion, the title of the story is very apt and suits it perfectly. The festive spirit of Christmas prevails throughout the story. It clearly mentions how the warning troops longed for peace and had a strong desire to return home safely to their respective families. They shared a wonderful moment together by sharing food, drinks, and talked to their hearts' content and played a football match. However, when the narrator goes to visit Connie along with a letter written by her husband, Jim McPherson, she perfumes the author to be her husband and thanks him for getting her the best Christmas present ever. Children, the next two slides are based on the poem. So this also I will read, and because I read this because you have to know how the vocabulary is to be pronounced and where the pauses while reading. Whenever you read, where you have to give the pause. Okay. So the ant and the cricket is the poem's name, and the Roman number 1 is synonyms in this. And first one is accustomed to sing, used to singing, in the habit of singing. You can write any one answer, children. So famine, famine means scarcity of food, like having nothing to eat. Lay nothing by, save nothing. Quoth, quoth means said. And next one is answer the following question answers. First question, the cricket says, oh, what will become of me? When does he say it and why? Answer, the cricket speaks these words when he finds no birds in his home to eat in winter. So let us see the continuation of the questions in the next slide, children. So this is a continuation. Second question, find in the poem the lines that means the same as neither a borrower nor a lender be. Shakespeare. Second one, in the second question, there are two questions. Second one is, what is your opinion on the ants principle? As I have given two questions in second question, you also must answer in the two answer format. The first one is, the line is, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. Second one, the ants the ants principle is not bad. It teaches a lesson to everyone to plan for the rainy days. Third question, the ant tells the cricket to dance the winter away. Do you think the word dance is appropriate here? If so, why? The word dance here means merry making and wasting time. It is appropriate here. The irresponsible cricket does not deserve any sympathy. Which line in the poem express the poet's comment? Read them aloud. Write the comment in your own words. Answer is, the poet's comment is expressed in the last two lines. Folks call this is fable. 111 warrant is true. Number 2. People say that this story of the ant and the cricket is imaginary or a fable with a moral. But I think that the story is true and educative. Some people live only in the present. They spend what they earn and make merry, but they regret this habit later on. So these are the classwork content which we had noted in our classwork, children. So please read carefully, don't make any spelling mistakes in the examination. And in the next slide, we will be giving you the question format, like how we had divided the sections in three. The question paper will be given in three sections, and how and where you have to score more marks. You have to strategize yourself according to that pattern. Okay, children, so let us discuss the question pattern now. Children, the question pattern for your unit test 1 is, It comprises of 3 sections, section A, section B and section C. In the first section, we have given the reading comprehension. It means we will give a passage. Based on the passage, 5 questions or 10 questions may be asked. Okay. And in section B, writing and grammar. It is for 11 marks. First Roman is fill in the blanks using correct form of verbs. And second Roman, underline the past form and earlier past form and fill in the table. So we have done this exercise in the textbook, right children? The past and the earlier past, everything. But in examination, those questions will not be asked. We will give some other own questions, some other questions which is apart from the textbook and you have to answer it. Don't mug up the textual grammar. Not even one question comes from the textbook exercises. The third part is describe the picture in about 6 to 8 lines. It means a picture will be given there and from that picture you have to develop 6 to 8 lines, a story or 8 points also you can mention in the, why I am telling to 6 to 8 lines is it is for 3 marks. Each point carries half mark. So if you are writing only 6 points, if 2 sentences goes wrong, I will give over you only 2 marks. If you write 8 to 10 lines, even 1 or 2 lines if it goes wrong, you will get full marks, right children? So that is why I am asking write minimum 8 lines or 10 lines, okay? And now section C. Section C is a literature part. It will from prose and poetry for 9 marks. Roman number 1 is synonyms. In synonyms, we will give you 4 synonyms. Each carries half mark. So total 2 marks. Antonyms, we give 2 questions. 2 questions carries half mark, so that 1 mark. Frame sentences, two questions will be asked and half mark each and 1 mark. And the last is answer the following questions in about 30 words. So you have all small answers, question answers only for the first chapter. So we will give only 2 questions. No choice will be given. 2 questions carries 2.5 marks, so that 5 marks. This is the question pattern how we are going to give you in the unit test 1 children. And from this question pattern you can program yourself where you will gain more marks, on which you have to concentrate, where you will lack marks. Okay, you can strategize yourself and prepare yourself children, and all the best for your exams. Hope you are also working hard at home and don't disappoint me. Write the exams properly, read well, make use of these holidays. For English we are getting nearly 2 days holidays, so make use of these holidays and then attend the exam very well. Okay children, so thank you children. This is Priya signing off from Alpha International CBSE School, Bahur.